That's right. Good morning. We are deeply disturbed by the intensification of the conflict in Rakhine State in recent weeks, and we condemn what appear to be indiscriminate attacks and attacks directed at civilians by the Myanmar military as well as armed fighters in the context of the ongoing fighting with the ethnic Rakhine Arakan Army. And I just want to clarify that this is an armed group. The Arakan Army is an armed group that recruits mainly from among the ethnic Rakhine Buddhist community, and this is distinct from the Rohingya Muslim community, just to clarify that. The conflict between the Myanmar military, which is also known as the Tatmadaw, and the Arakan Army has given rise to credible reports of the killings of civilians, burning of houses, arbitrary arrests, abductions, indiscriminate fire in civilian areas, and damage to cultural property. The fighting has impacted on civilians of various ethnicities in Rakhine and Chin states, including Rakhine ethnicity, Rohingya, Chin, Mrauk, and Dagnet. According to reports received by the UN Human Rights Office, fighting has intensified in Buthidaung, Rathedaung, Kyauktaw, Mrauk-U, and Sittwe townships. We will be sending you the press briefing notes so you can get the spellings of these towns in Rakhine states in recent weeks. And this fighting has led to the displacement of over 20,000 civilians. The impact of the violence on civilians in northern Rakhine has been exacerbated by the government's near suspension of humanitarian access since January this year. In the most recent escalation, on the evening of the 3rd of April this week, 2 military helicopters flew over a village tract in South Buthidaung township and fired on civilians tending cows and paddy fields. They killed at least 7 civilians and injured 18 others, according to sources on the ground. The 3rd of April attack was carried out in an area that had seen large-scale displacement of Rohingya civilians in recent days. According to information received by our office, some 4,000 Rohingya were displaced between 25th and 30th March from the villages along the road connecting Buthidaung and Rathedaung towns. The displaced had fled westward and are taking shelter in various areas. We call on the Tatmadaw and the Arakan Army to immediately cease hostilities and to ensure that civilians are protected. Humanitarian access to all areas of northern Rakhine must be urgently restored, including those areas affected by the recent clashes. As the international community is taking steps towards accountability for crimes against civilians in previous years, the Myanmar military is again carrying out attacks against its own civilians, attacks which may constitute war crimes. The consequences of impunity will continue to be deadly.